first year you did it, did you pull from other grades? Okay.
It was hard, okay? That's what I've been telling, I told them that first year's gonna be difficult because you're teaching them all the terms that is in the whole
Right.
curriculum. It is a lot more difficult the first year to 2 years, okay? I'm gonna show you some sheets on here because each lesson, it's a whole different way of thinking than when I was even taught as a kid, okay? And so, I'm not gonna lie, I watched several videos and even my first year teaching, maybe the kids and I watched it together because I was learning right along with them, okay? And I told them that, I was like, guys, this is a new curriculum, I wasn't taught this way, so we're gonna learn together, okay? And so, I don't know if you're supposed to do that as a teacher, but literally, I didn't have time to sit down and watch this video every day before I was to teach the lesson. And, it's like, it was intense. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It was intense that first year. But then you'll get kind of you'll know you kind of all of a sudden light bulb moment and you're like, oh, this is not as bad as it seems, like it's not nearly bad. Oh, one thing I did forget to show you, jump around. The one thing that I do take grades on, okay, I don't know if y'all are big on grades in third grade, we have to have certain numbers, so, one of these has topic quizzes, okay? You'll have like 1, 2, 3, 4 lessons, and that's topic A. 1, 2, 3, 4 lessons, topic B. And I'm gonna show you where you find all that on here, okay? What I have found is topic A, B, and C are pretty much, that's the meat of it. And then the further you go down the alphabet, the more abstract it gets, okay? So if I can get A, B, and C topic quiz grades, I'm not nearly as worried about D, E, F, because sometimes that's way over their head. But I'm exposing it to them. That's my whole point, is just exposing it to them, okay? So these are, I make copies of these for you guys too, but these are Google Docs on there, okay? I don't know who your tech-savvy person is, but you can make a copy of it. I have deleted some of these questions off because I'm like, I don't care if my kids know the answer to this one or not. So we the ones that are so abstract, I don't care if they know it or not, I took them off the quiz. Okay, so these are literally their exit ticket questions. And they just put it in a fancy little topic quiz looking like a test. Okay?
How many questions?
It depends. This one has 6. This one has 4. And I literally count them, and y'all can decide what you want to do. But I give each line 2 points. Okay? So one may be worth like 24 points. One may be worth 30. I don't put tons of weight on it. Does that make sense? Like I want to know that they're grasping the concept, and they may not get it the first time around, okay? It may take module 3 with us going back to multiplication and division, and us 6 weeks of practicing multiplication before they figure out how to do that array intake diagram correctly, okay? So, but this is me just kind of making sure that they have an idea. I'll tell you right now, when you hit division, you do multiplication, and then you automatically switch to division in module 1, they're gonna bomb it. Okay, they're gonna bomb it, because it takes all year long teaching them that division is easy. It's like, I don't know how to do it. Yes, you do. You know how to do division, so you will spend all year struggling with them to get them to do multiplication. I mean, multiplication's easy. The division part you will struggle with. So when they bomb topic quiz B, don't be surprised.
So don't take it for free?
Yeah, so that's why I don't know how she is, but that's why I don't put a lot of weight on this, okay? That DMR, that 9 square, that's worth 45 points, okay? Because that's 5 points in a box, and that's more of our standards.
And that's your morning work.
And we've graded it together, we've gone over it, that's us
So you grade the 5th one, right?
Yes.
So if we have to have 2 grades a week,
We usually have to have 2 grades.
And sometimes you'll figure out on that 9 square, they may get the 4th one right, really good, and they may do pretty good on the 5th one, so you can sometimes take the 4th and the 5th one, and that gets you 2 grades right there too, And this topic quiz, it really, for the most part, they do pretty good, and that's why, but I only put 2 points on each, because if they mess up, like right here, that's several points because there's several boxes, okay? But they could get the rest of it right and still make a 16 out of 24. That's not bad. It's not gonna plummet their grade.
So how often do they take that? You said it's a topic, so there's
After
like-
each, what I do on my lesson plans is I sit there and I put module one, like, module one, module one, lesson two, and then I put in a topic quiz in. So after they've gone through the 4 lessons or however many there are for that topic, then we do the topic
So is
quiz.
it usually like per week, would you say?
It's
Sometimes
pretty close. It is pretty close. There's about 4 to 5, depending on if you have class all week or whatever, So here's at least the first module A's topic quizzes. Okay? So, anyway, that's kind of how I get grades out of Eureka. If you go to the training, it tells you not to take grades on the exit tickets. We do check them. We go over them. I have them independently work on it, and I'm gonna show you that in a minute. I have them independently work on it, but I only give them like 5 minutes because it's usually like 1 or 2 questions on the exit ticket. And then we grade it in class, and then I have them mark where they messed up. And as they're doing it, I'm walking around and I'm like, since it's just 1 question, usually I'm like, check that again, and it's really easy to walk around with 1 or 2 questions and make sure they've got the concept. So, that's what I'm doing while they're working in that 5 minutes to get the exit ticket done. And so we've tried taking grades on the exit tickets. You get inundated with papers that you will never get caught up with because that's a daily thing. So it's easier for them just to quickly check it, you walk around and make sure they got it, and then let them take it home. Okay? So, does that help? Any? Okay. So I am going to show you some things on Embark real quick, and then I'll show you how kind of my lesson, and then you guys can ask me tons of questions because I'm sure you have tons of questions. Okay, Embark. You'll want to log into that. Oh wow. Oh, I got a screen right here. Okay, and then if you click on the 3rd grade right there, it will literally show you all of the modules.
But these are the topic quizzes, right?
Yes.
Yeah, those are the extras.
They're the same.
Okay. Is that screen, can I move with that screen or do I have to use the mouse over here?
They're both.
Anybody know if that's a touch screen?
Embark calls it.
It may, I don't know if it works or not. Let's see, it should be.
I think it does.
So we can't grade those.
We're not supposed to
grade
grade
those.
the topic quiz.
Yes, she grades them. Don't you grade them?
I grade the topic.
Is this not
So
topic
this
quiz?
is the topic quiz or the exit question?
It's the same thing. They
So
just
then-
make
so
it,
you do grade those?
I grade those.
But they
That's,
tell you in the training not to grade those?
Those
I'm
are-
not fine with it.
yes, so the exit tickets, I'm gonna show you the exit tickets. I'm confusing you. So here's your exit tickets. Each time you go along, you have a lesson,
Okay.
okay? And then you have an exit ticket for each lesson,
Okay.
okay?
And that's just for your knowledge, like you wouldn't take.
This is the one that I'm walking around in class and I'm like,
2 questions.
2 questions, 1 to 2 questions, I'm walking around and I'm like, we will grade it as a whole class at the end. I give them 5 minutes, but the ones that I know, real quick the ones that are struggling, so I'm kind of hovering around and I'm like, oh, double check that right there, So I make sure that they're getting it, okay? But then we come up here and we grade this real quick in class to make sure that we're all on the same page. Because if you'll notice, it is pretty much the same question as on my topic quiz, okay? So, it's about 3 days later, but I'm seeing if they retain the information.
Those have more questions.
But it's, because it has all the lessons in the topic.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
what is that from? Is that
Module 1.
from, okay.
Okay.
Is that from Embark though?
That's the papers that I gave her.
Oh,
Okay. Okay, so then I go to, we have these sprints. I've done it a couple of different ways, okay? The kids love these, but it's all in how you present it to them, okay? It is, and it's like, I've done it a couple of different ways. The first part, when it's just subtraction, addition, something like that, I give them 2 minutes, and we see how far we can get, and the whole purpose is, then we do it again on the back side, and the whole point is to get 1 better than I did on the first side. If I get 3, that's amazing. The whole point is to get 1 better. Okay? Now I'm not gonna lie, when we get further into it, it's multiplication. On a couple of the other modules, it's multiplication. I give them like 5 minutes because I want them to practice. Okay? I wanna make it done because I'm working on building their confidence, okay? And they don't care if it took them 5 minutes or 7 minutes or whatever, but they got finished. So they're geniuses at math now.
Do you do other multiplication tests?
Yes,
Okay.
I do.
Do you do like rewards type?
Yes, we do. We do last year we had a movie popcorn party thing, and it was like if they got to this number, they got to get the popcorn. If they got to this number, they got to, yeah.
Well,
And they got
to finish it.
we didn't either. We were like, it was the saddest thing ever. So, but anyway, so then it's like you go to lesson 2, you know, you've got your problem set, okay? And then you got another exit ticket. There's some templates in here which you can use. Then you've got another exit ticket. So each lesson has an exit ticket. Okay?
Is there a certain day that, you do that do you do that module every day?
Every single day.
Okay.
Every single day. And I'll be honest with you, the first year, it's gonna take you a little bit of time to get through the lesson, okay? Second year, you'll get quicker. Third year, you'll hit on the nuts and bolts of it, and then you'll move on, okay? So just kind of plan that it's gonna take a little bit of time that first year, especially not knowing if we're going virtual or whatever. That's gonna be difficult, okay? So anyway, this is Embark, and you're gonna wanna say this is a favorite, okay? Because it doesn't. Okay, I'm gonna go back here. It has all of your topic quizzes that you want. It tells you where all of each lesson falls. You know, it's like module, lesson 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, topic quiz. Lesson 5, 6, 7, 8, you know, topic quiz. So, I'll scroll down. Okay, so here's topic A. You see that? Here's your topic A quiz right underneath it. And then you scroll down, here's lesson 1, lesson 2, that kind of stuff. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. My first year teaching, we watched the video. It's not the most exciting thing in the world, but he shows you.
You watch that with your class?
Yes,
or-
I did.
This is the third grade,
Sorry, it's so
module
loud.
1, lesson 1. And in this lesson, we are understanding that equal groups really suggests the act of multiplication.
And so, like, we would pause and we would try and solve it.
In this picture, what we've got is it looks like scissors, I guess. And we've got one group of scissors, another group. So we've got these equal sized groups. And we have 6 groups, but that's 6 groups of 3. So that's gonna be right here. We've got a 3 right here. And so that,
So then we would try and sit there, like, I may pause it and I'd be like, okay, what do we think's gonna fit on that line right there? What's gonna go on that line? You know? And so, like, this is me learning. I'm not kidding. You guys will literally, by the second year, you're like, oh God, I can't watch this video again. But, you know, you'll get to some things that you're like, I don't even know what this lesson is trying to teach them. You know? And so this at least keeps me on track until I can get a game plan of what in the world am I trying, what's the point of this lesson? Okay? And so, you know, so then we sit here and I'm like, okay, so I have 3 groups. I have 3 scissors here. I have 3 scissors here. So then we would literally talk about how we're going to write the 3 on there. So we're literally adding 3 together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Okay, so I don't rely on him completely, but believe me, there will be some lessons he will teach it for you, and then you will learn right along with him.
Is there one for every day?
Mhm.
Okay, so there's a new lesson every day
Yes.
and a video for every lesson
On
every day.
Embark. Okay, I will tell you, do not rely on this for the rest of your life, because the kids will get bored. Okay, but for your sanity that first year, you may have to, because here's what I got my first year, was this big binder like this, and it was like this. I have one for each module, and I had to sit here and look through it and try and figure out what a math person wrote it. I can tell you that. I'm sitting here trying to figure out, okay, here's lesson 1. Lesson 1. It tells me I have 10 minutes to work on the problem set. But I mean, this is not the way I think. You know what I mean? So I couldn't follow it. Okay? because I could, oh, I remember this lesson. Okay, here's what we're working on, guys. You know, so then as I got better at it, you know, but that was my saving grace, I'm not gonna lie. And he only lasts like maybe 5 minutes, and then, you know, he doesn't talk forever. And if he gets to the part where I'm like, we don't need to know this, I kind of just shut him off, and we go ahead and then we work through our problem set. Okay, so we have our problem set that we work through. He's shown us how to do it. So this is lesson 1, module 1. Okay, it's not the same thing, but we've got the same concept. Okay, so we've got fill in the blank. I've got 3 hands on here with 5 fingers on each hand. Okay, so we really work on circling this first part. Okay, we're making groups. Okay, so circle the group. Even though it's hand, I'm circling the hand. I'm circling the hand. I'm circling the hand. How many groups do I have? I have 3 groups. How many's in each group? Okay, so like we talked about, we kind of watch it up here to help me figure out what's going on so that I can then transition it over here and we work through it. Okay, I will tell you we may do, just because it has this and this, I don't always do all the problems. Okay, we work on it enough to make sure that we have a grasp on what's going on. Okay, so we definitely do the first one. We'll do this front page usually for sure. You'll learn that the back page, sometimes it gets a little abstract, and that's great, but not all your kids are gonna get it. I even told a couple of my higher kids, I'm like, I need you to do, this is what you must do. You must do problems 1, 2, 3. If you get done and you wanna work on problem 4, go ahead and work on problem 4. Okay, so my faster kids, they're still busy, and they're working on problem 4. It's pushing them, it's challenging them, and then when we grade it, you know, when we're going over it, I'll quickly go over 4. You know, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time going over 4. I'll just be like, okay, for those that did 4, here's what happened. The ones that didn't, y'all write it down and just pay attention. Okay, so I'm exposing them to it, but I'm not expecting them to get it. Does that make sense?
So they work on that independently and then you go over it.
Yeah. We do the first couple together because I want them to get it. And then when I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, we're on this one now. Look at this one, and I want you guys to do this one, and I'm gonna walk around and check and see if you got it right. I do a lot of walking around with this, okay? Just because I'm trying to get them independent, but I don't wanna let them go too fast where they mess up.
How long does that usually take? I know it's gonna be different for.
Now it takes maybe this whole thing, them doing the exit ticket and everything, 15, 20 minutes.
What about when you first started?
20, 30 minutes.
So that is the lesson and the exit ticket.
The exit ticket's right here.
Okay.
Okay, so once we've gone over the skill, okay, then I'm like, okay guys, exit ticket, get your exit ticket out. Okay, I want you to work on, you're gonna do 1 and 2, okay? I'm gonna give you 5 minutes, and then we're gonna check it. Okay, so as they're working on it, I'm walking around, okay? You know, we're looking at it, okay? And then we go up here and it's up on the board, and we work through it together. Okay? If you didn't get it right, figure out where you messed up. Where did you mess up at? What number did you put there? Did you put the 2? If you didn't, fix it, put the 2 there.
Do you have them doing it in pencil too? I mean, you know, do different colors.
Because honestly, I walked around and figured out who's gotten it. I'm not collecting it. It's for them to just practice. Okay? The topic quiz is the one that I will collect, I will grade, and that's the one that I take the grade on. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay. So, the video's on Embark. I would strongly suggest you use it maybe even if it's something that maybe you're not a video person, maybe that's not you, you can watch it at least before the class. I had 2 classes, so it was like, I had to, every day I was teaching it. I can tell you my second time I taught it was way better than the first time I taught it, you know, so, but, you know, it gets really, with everything else you have going on, having to figure out what to teach the next day and not knowing how to teach it, it gets, so finally, I tried watching the video at first before class started, and I was like, oh good Lord, this is killing me, you know, so apologize, but you know, that's how I survived my first year. Okay, so there's the video on there.
So at what point do you do the sprints?
When it comes along, we do it first thing when the lesson starts. It's not, you don't have a sprint every lesson.
Oh.
You don't. Okay, they're mixed in here and they're incorporated in.
So you literally follow page by page?
I do follow page by page. You know, it's like, one year, we didn't have it bound, we had it loose paper, and it was like, I was handing out papers left and right, handing out papers left. That had to stop. First, I had to store a whole module of 50 pages for each. It was horrible. You know, so that's when we went to binding it, okay? My kids switched class, I don't know if they will this year, but my kids switched, I just teach math, science, and social studies, okay? This does not leave my room, okay? This stays in my room because I do not want to give a new book out to everybody that loses one. Okay, so this stays in my room, okay? They do a pretty good job of hanging on to it. They think it's really cool to tear the perforated pages out. They're big people, okay? There's still some that can't, but you know, we got those. But they think it's really cool, you know, and then they get to take the book home when they're done, and they think that's really cool too. So, but yeah, the sprints, they're hit and miss, but even if we skip a lesson, the sprint will still be in there because they really like the sprints. They do. They think it's the coolest thing. And some of them, you have to convince, it's like, this is not for a grade. I'm not grading this, I'm not even gonna look, you know? But this is for you to work on getting better. All you gotta do is get one better than the other on the other side. That's it. You know, we even say it out loud. We're like, we gotta get one better, that's the whole goal. You know, and so you will be amazed. I even transitioned over to my times tests and everything. We do it twice, front and back, because every time we do a times test, it's front and back because they get faster the second time. You know, it's like every time you do it, you know, so it's like every time we take a times test, it's on the front and on the back. We take it on the front side, and then we have 2 tries every time we do it. So the sprint that's convinced me that they get at least one faster when they get to do it twice.
Do you grade the first one first and then?
I tell them, I'm like, on our sprints, on our times test, we have to finish the page in order for me to grade it. So if they haven't finished it, I just draw a line and I don't check it. But if they finish both sides, I will check both sides. If they mess up on one side, they still have a second try. Okay, so.
So when they take it the first time, do you say, okay, stop, and then we're gonna grade it real fast?
Nope.
You just.
No, which one are you talking about? On the times test or the sprint? On the sprint, to answer the sprint, we go over in class and this is what it's like. I sit here like this, and you know, it's like, this is pretty cool. If you were to walk into class when we're doing this is pretty cool. So I go through, and I say the answer, so I'm just gonna go through. And if they have it right, they say yes. Until they have not answered it anymore, and then they stop talking. Okay, so literally, you know, everybody's talking, it gets quieter, and then it's like, there's one kid, you know, so it's like, I'm like, 2, yes, 4, yes, 6, yes, 8, yes, 10, yes, 12, yes, 14, yes, 16, yes, 18, yes, until nobody else is saying anything.
And are they grading it with the pen?
They can grade it I don't care if they grade it with the pen, or some of them will correct it, some of them will grade with pen, and then we flip it over, and we do the second side. Okay? And one thing that I found is if I race them, they think that's cool. So I will sit down, and I'm like, whoa, here we go, let me get my paper ready, and I will literally start the timer, and I'm racing them. And I've got some kids that it is all I can do to stay up. I'm like, oh, gee, just let me get these in here before they start. So, like, but I race them on the times test.
Are we given like our own book too? Or like how do you do it then?
Do you
This?
have a copy of this
Yes.
student module?
This is the student module.
I know, but like for yourself, when you're saying you're doing.
I just take one of these and I just write the answers in it as I go.
Okay.
And then I make my own answer book as I go every
Okay.
year. I do. I just make my own answer book because